As we heard from Veljko's piece, it may unfortunately take some time for the already fragile region to fully recover. Many still have concerns that the conflict next door could spill over into the Western Balkans. There are positive signs that some countries could join the EU and NATO, but deep-rooted problems are still waiting to be solved. I interviewed Majlinda Bregu, Secretary General of the Regional Cooperation Council at the TRT World Forum a couple of weeks ago, and asked what she sees as the biggest threat to the region's stability. How much is the crisis in Ukraine actually a wake-up call for this fragmented region of across the Balkans?
Well, the Ukraine war shed a different light on the Western Balkans. And I can only hope that that wake-up call will last, and then it will be followed by some concrete changes. So everybody understood that the volatility and uncertainty is global now. And EU as well got the real perception that you can't leave Western Balkans and treat those only as base or as part of the EU enlargement story, because Western Balkans are part of the European continent. So, and this crisis happening in Ukraine, it was a wake-up call for the European Union as well, considering that the Western Balkans has never been considered a safe area, but always in the margins of the EU. So I hope that will continue and some concrete results will follow.
As we wait for the membership, it's at this point looks so far away still for many countries in the region. What can the countries do themselves when it comes to making their lives better? Can they work more on uniting when it comes to economy or other aspects?
Walking the talk. We know that the process of membership is going to be again, it might take many years. And frankly, I don't have a crystal ball, and nobody can say today if this process will come soon, let's say, to an end, as the promise was made when the perspective of the EU enlargement accession of our region was set up. So it's all the region feels not being closer to the date of membership than they were when they received the proposal to be part of the European Union. But again, I think what we can do from now, not only from now on, but we have been trying to do so far, and what is quite important is for the economies of the region to come closer together, to deepen their economic integration, to connect with each other faster. And I'm not speaking only on the infrastructure connectivity, which is the first thing that passes into our minds, but to connect people to people and trying to have better regional cooperation among themselves, because the cooperation is a taught skill. And for the countries of the Western Balkans, the greatest part of them coming out from a despotic glue of the Yugoslav times, and the Albania on the other side from the communist regime, to come closer to each other and to consider ourselves as good neighbors, you really need a lot of work. But finally, I think that things are set on the right track. And at least I tend to believe what the citizens of the region are asking and expressing. And they are massively, overwhelmingly supporting the regional cooperation.
What do you see as the most destabilizing actor in the region at the moment?
Well, not because all the eyes and ears are on Russia, but Russia has an interest in destabilizing the Western Balkans. Because for them, Western Balkans, it's not only a part of the world, of this global world, but it's the front yard of the EU. So by destabilizing the Western Balkans, you can easily transport and transpose this crisis into the EU. It's the same that is happening with the Ukraine. So that is one of the biggest threats for the moment when it comes from the foreign actors into the region. And I think that the attention on that one has not been quite high. Just consider that as it is in diplomacy and foreign policy, you know that the words are like bullets, but we never considered these bullets to kill people when it was for the propaganda and disinformation. Only during the last year, you see, and we do hear many voices and concerns when it comes to the role of disinformation and the impact that it has on the citizens of the region. And then again, a greater stability in the economies of the region that have been facing problems or still like in the process of facing problems day by day, like Bosnia-Herzegovina, for example, or like the dispute between Kosovo and Serbia, are like not only the most important, let's say, most important actors to build up and strengthen the dialogue and the cooperation, but as well the most, let's say, fragile economies of the Western Balkans.
If the war in Ukraine continues and Russia continues to increase its presence, particularly in Republika Srpska, the entity of Bosnia, and in Serbia as well, are you worried that we could see conflicts in Bosnia or in the north of Kosovo in the near future?
I hope this is not going to happen, but my hope will not be enough. And I think what can really like prevent that is a closer partnership in terms of security between EU and United States, or as we call it, European Atlantic, transatlantic cooperation in there, with all the countries that have like a role in the region, even Turkey, that is like a strong partner of NATO as well, trying to prevent what can be like the worst case scenario for the Western Balkans. On the other hand, we need like to keep the perspective alive for the citizens of the region. It's not going to be like a small movement, or it's like if the pessimism is going to be to get an increase. And I'm speaking on the pessimism and referring to the pessimism of having a European perspective alive for the Western Balkans. Then the citizens of the region will continue to live day by day. So for some of them, like for the young people, if they can't continue, they can't change their country, they will continue to vote on their feet by leaving their countries, which I think, again, is going to be one of the worst and the bitter realities that we might face. So as it is in each crisis, things become more crystal clear, but as it is, as well as goes with every crisis, time is not tomorrow because the present is now.
You often said that radicalization, disinformation and corruption are major concerns for Balkans. Have we seen any improvements when it comes to those three issues in the region?
Economic downturn is a big problem now because of the war in Ukraine. But yes, these problems are still persisting in there. The distrust in public institutions, as it comes from our Balkan Barometer polls, is quite high. And I just wish that now the instruments in place should be really like executed, even to prevent the disinformation. All those mechanisms that haven't been like taken seriously so far, even when it goes to the media, who keeps like repeating fake news or producing fake news, or like the self-regulation within the social media community, the online portals that are quite present in the region. Like, it's quite interesting, based on this latest survey that we had after the war in Ukraine, that the social media and the online portals are quite distrusted in the Western Balkans when it comes to the level of information. And the most trusted sources of information are the international media. So everybody has a role to play in there. Local media, international media, EU institutions, digital services, all of them have a role to play.
I always like to end my interviews with something positive. Ms. Bregu, in 2022, can you single out three biggest achievements for this region that we have seen?
The endorsement of the agreements that were like standing with us for more than 2 years. The recognition of diplomas, which is quite important for the students. The recognition of the first 3 professions that will be followed by 4 others. And the freedom of movement with ID cards that makes like possible for the Bosnian citizens and those of Kosovo to travel without a visa among each other. The, let's say, start of the day or of the process of reduction of the roaming charges EU Western Balkans. This might sound a bit like technical, but whatever initiative gives to the citizens a bit of more hope, sense of the EU perspective, and on the other hand, even some more money in their pockets, so their bills are not going to cost highly. These are all welcome. And I see like the best news, the raising consciousness that together in the region we can stand. but divided we fall. And as I said, that comes like from all the citizens in the region, be those like the average citizens or the business community.
Ms. Bregu, thank you so much for your insights for Across the Balkans.
Thank you very much and good luck.
Okay, that's it from us for this week. See you next time. Bye-bye for now.